The morning sun cut through the haze, glinting off the empty beer bottle next to Unc. He was parked in his favorite chair, watching the Steelers get trampled on the old threedi set. It was a familiar sight.
The words were out of my mouth before I could stop them. Just another log on a fire that never quite went out. Unc didn't even look at me. He just grunted. It's a global sport, kid. 5 o'clock somewhere. He had a point, technically, but we both knew what this was really about.
I went about my morning ritual. Coffee brewing, thick and dark. I checked my phone, its battery gasping for life on the solar-powered windowsill. 3 new messages. All offers on the ranch. I deleted them without reading. I wasn't selling, not to some sinkfarmer who'd just pave it all over. My breakfast was what was left. Spicy dill pickle spears and a donut that was at least a week old. It was fine.
I headed out to the shed. The air was already sick with the coming heat. This was our lab, if you could call it that. Just a dusty, cramped space at the edge of everything. It wasn't much. Not compared to the industrial labs. We weren't trying to print whole steaks from nothing. I tried that once. Ended up with a gray, pulsing slab of meat that smelled like burnt hair. No, we just seeded a few core samples, inoculated the cattle twice a year, kept the meat uniform, lean. It was just enough to get by, most years.
I started prepping the syringes, lining them up with military precision. The inoculation. It was a huge job, just the 2 of us, and it had to be done tomorrow. The thought settled in my gut like a stone. Tomorrow was the big day. I was loading the Duar flask when Unc came stumbling out of the house, waving my phone like it was on fire. He was shouting, breathless, "It's the girl from the city, Pola! She's trying to get a hold of you!" He shoved the phone at me, his eyes wide with a manic kind of hope. "This is your recompense, young man," he said, the words heavy with a history I tried not to think about. My hand was shaking as I took the phone. I hadn't really spoken to a woman since Rain, and Paula, well, she'd made an impression. Her voice was a whirlwind. There was an opening, she said, in a special training class at Nutriel. A big deal, and she'd gotten me a spot, for free. Then came the catch. It was tomorrow, the same day as the inoculation. Before I could even process that, she asked me to dinner. Afterwards. And then, almost as an afterthought, she mentioned the ranch. A hesitant, maybe offer of $750 if some research deal came through. It was too much, too fast. An impossible choice. When I told Unc I was going, it was like striking a match. "You can't leave me here to run the inoculation alone," he snarled. I tried to make him see. "That's why I'm doing it, Unc, because she wants to buy the farm." But he wasn't listening. "This ain't about the ranch," he spat, jabbing a finger at my chest. "This is about you. Just you." And maybe he was right. I didn't care. "Don't make it about me and you," I said, my voice low. "So yeah, I'm going." The anger was a physical thing inside me, hot and sharp. I felt trapped, pinned down by the ranch, by him, by everything. I had to do something. Without thinking, I shoved the Duar. It crashed onto its side, the liquid nitrogen hissing as it poured out, sending a thick cloud of ice-cold steam rolling across the gravel. It was a waste, a stupid, childish act, and for a second, it felt good. I didn't look at him. I couldn't. I just turned my back on the sizzling mess, on him, on all of it. "I'm taking the fucking horse out," I said to the empty air. I rode Nellibeth hard, pushing her, needing the speed. We flew down the familiar path. And then I did something I never do. I took the turn. The path to Oak Hill, the path to the accident. I always avoided it, but not today. The memory came rushing back, crisp and clear. The 3 of us, drunk on stolen Budweisers, riding through the creek at night. It felt like flying through space. I remember laughing, trying to finger paint mud on Nellibeth's flank like a damn fool. And then she shook, sat down, and rolled. I remember the sickening crunch, Rain knocked out on the rocks, and Lizzie was under the horse. I panicked. I scooped up Rain, threw her on my shoulder, and ran, leaving Lizzie's broken body behind in the mud and the dark. The image is burned into my mind, the horse rolling over, smashing Lizzie's face into the mud, knocking Rain unconscious. And then, as Nellibeth scrambled to her feet, she stood and trampled Lizzie as she ran off into the darkness. We found her later, me and Unc. The mud was packed in her mouth, her nose, the only dead body I'd ever seen. Rain never woke up from the coma, but it's Lizzie who haunts me. Always Lizzie. I rode back to the stables, the memory cold inside me. The anger from the fight was gone, replaced by something harder, a decision. I wasn't just running from something anymore. I was heading toward whatever came next.
I pulled out my phone and called Ricky Knudsen. We'd been friends a long time ago. I asked him if he could help Unc with the inoculation tomorrow. He said, yeah, no problem. A substitute. Not perfect, but it was something. An attempt to do the right thing, even as I was walking away.
Unc seemed satisfied when I told him. The fire was gone from his eyes. All right, he said, his voice flat. Go to the class. But could you try to be back early enough to swing by Tanninger's for a nitrogen refill? Just like that, it was about logistics again, about the work. A reminder of the responsibilities I was leaving behind. I pulled on my jacket. The anger from our argument was still there, a dull ache in my chest, but it was buried. We didn't say anything else. I just walked out the door, got in the truck, and started down the long road to the city.
To be continued.